So most of the chanters that I've ever had have not had threaded tuning seats. So like this one, for example, I don't know if, I can't really get that to where you can see, can I? But just what that means is just the inside of this hole right here where the reed goes. Did I say tuning seats? I meant reed seats. But where the reed goes is not threaded on the inside. That's the way most of my chanters have always been. So you just rely on, pressure. You get enough hemp on there and squeeze it in there to get reeds tight. But recently I got this chanter, which, darn it, I'm sorry that, I wonder if I were to, well, this one, just trust me, even though you can't see it, this one does have a threaded reed seat. Oh, and actually maybe this is a good way to see. You can see that the hemp, maybe you can see that the hemp on this reed has taken on the threads of the inside of this reed seat. So it's pretty darn cool. It's the kind of thing I wouldn't have thought was cool until I tried it. But like, not only does that hold on to the reed really well, but it makes it so that tuning is really easy because you can just tighten it in or loosen it out, by turns to get really slight adjustments for where exactly you want the reed to sit, and then it stays where you put it. So I thought I'd get adventurous and do the same thing with for my drone reeds. So usually I just put on plenty of hemp to get it really tight, and then use a little lifeline, bit of hemp like this right here, where that'll wrap up around the bottom of the drone bottom piece in case it were to fall out. But for a little bit of extra security, I thought, well, why not? I'm gonna thread the inside. So measuring the opening of my drones down here, I thought that I would need this size right here. This is a 3/8 by 16. But luckily Harbor Freight had this this tap and die set for like $10. So I got a bunch of different sizes, and when I found that I needed a larger size, well, there you go. So this is a 7/16 by 14. And I don't want to take it too far. I've already done the other drones, but basically just putting some pressure on it right there, giving it a couple of twists. I'm figuring twice around is plenty. Taking it too far, I would expect to crack the bottom of the drone, and I wouldn't want to do that. So just give it a couple turns once it's tight. You can see there's some wood. There's some wood there now, so I can tell it was doing something. Now I'm just taking a close look at the inside. I do see some threads forming, and like this one I already did. You can see that the reed is, darn it, I'm really sorry. Here, let's see if we can. This is not a highly professional production anyway, but there you go. Can I get you a good angle to see? Okay, so this one's already threaded, and I added a little more hemp than it previously had on it. And now as I twist, I'm going to turn it just to give you an idea of how, now that it's threaded, I can actually twist it in tighter and tighter and tighter until it's so darn tight. It's just like driving a screw into a piece of wood. And it is super duper strong now, sitting there. I've still got the lifeline on it, and I'll probably still hemp that in just in case, but it's really tight. That's going to be great for not losing my reeds into the bag, and, maybe even present some advantage for not losing air either, around there when things, swell up and shrink down again. Anyway, I mean, I share this in case this is helpful to anybody thinking like, oh, I'd like to have that, but maybe it's a little bit out of reach, maybe it's a little over technical. It's a pretty simple thing to do, cheap couple of tools, and it's a pretty quick thing. But I would still want to caution that, like, really don't take it too far. too far in there, I'm sure this would crack the wood if you were to like really crank it in there really deep. You really only need 2 or 3 threads right along the outside edge to get, to get the teeth of those threads into the hemping of your drone, or excuse me, of your reed. So not very much is required. That's all.